Good day. Hello. Hi, America. How's everyone doing today? Today's February the 20th, 2023. My name is Michael Tomlinson. I am an Americanteer. Um, I'm having a good day. I had to go to another community, a little bit of a drive, like an hour from here. And I had my lunch there, and visit a friend. So it was just a pleasant drive, there and back, and taking care of the things I needed to take care of here in the fort, the studio, man, and here we are. So I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the weather, whatever it may be like. Um, and things are going well for you and your family. Um, I there's the one thing I can always say is that there's always haters out there, and but that's kind of an old story, the whole haters. That's all I've experienced my whole life. When I say my whole life, I literally mean my whole life. I was one of those little boys, man, that got I definitely had to live in a brutal world and carve myself out of stone. Full on Spartan. On my own. And it was it was lame. I didn't like it. I was just a kid. What was I supposed to like about it? The fact that I was hungry. The fact that I didn't have any clothes. I didn't have shoes to wear. Totally abandoned by, adult supervision. Hence why I was always hungry. I was never clean. No one was around to nurture me, make sure I had bath time or snack time or any of that fun stuff. I'll tell you this one little tidbit of how weird and or bad or whatever it was. I'm not leaving sympathy here because I don't mind covering myself in being Spartan. I was raised a Spartan. I was born into a modern Spartan world. Um, but no, I flunked first grade. Yeah. And I spent most of my first grade actually in the corner of the room, looking into the corner. Teacher hated me. The students hated me. No one liked me at all. I was an unclean, pharaoh kind of street kid, joining the classroom. And the problem was with me is that I was clueless. I knew school existed, but I didn't know anything outside of that. So my first introduction to any kind of educational system was first grade. And I was freaking out. And I didn't know that's what happened. Like we all kind of congregate in a little room, like a classroom, um, and did the, like subjects and things like that. I was so clueless, and so it took me a while to figure out what the heck I was even doing or why I was even there, And I was still always hungry. I still didn't, bathe right. Still didn't have the right clothing, but I was there. And it was kind of, I think about it, it was brutal, but, and on one side, but on another flip side, I think like That's just out of control. Kind of makes me chuckle, makes me laugh a little bit. Like, wow, man, that was out of control. It wasn't until I got into the higher grades, like third grade, that uh, adults started stepping into my life, and I started to feel like, that's when I experienced like a dinner time. I didn't even, where y'all had to meet up and the dining room table and feast. Um, so, um, so anyways, that's Spartan, and that's like beginning of the beginning of everything. It just kind of went nonstop for the rest of my life from that point on. It was just, you know, dealing with, when I was a kid, like that young, having to deal with, adults, things like that I should not have been dealing with, man. I had no reason to be in those circumstances. So, it was just all a survival thing for me, how to survive. Good times, man, good times. And thank you for letting me share that little part of my life backstory. It's not that I really want to go back there and live in my past. I've dealt with it already, and we're moving forward to growing as Americanteers, making sure that that does not happen to other youngins, other kids. Who knows how many thousands of children are running around America right now who are really hungry, who have been kind of outcast by the family, kind of on their own. And, and they need help too. They need Americanteers around to notice it, recognize it, and be a helpful, productive person in that person's life, that kid's life, if it's possible. Americanteers, we can save lives by keeping, or helping families stay together as a family, and let them know they can do that. They don't have to disregard, members of the family for their own survival. They can do it together. We're in this together. That's what I sayeth now. And we can still have an impact, though, with, a lot of people's lives. On so many different levels. From, a first grader on up to college and beyond. And, and people even in retirement right now. People, veterans, can be, I've talked about this like a couple of years back in one of the videos about how veterans, how important they really, really, really are, and how much information they have to share with us, and so we can learn from them and know the stories, or know how to use certain things, or tips and tricks of who knows what. Who knows what they know how. They probably know how to make a fan belt for a car out of a belt that you wear belt. They'll be like, oh no, you just have to, do this with your belt, maybe cut it up a little bit, and it'll get you there. Thumbs up. I mean, that's old school stuff. And it actually sounds like it might work. I just made that up. But it sounds like it may work. If you lose a fan belt in the middle of nowhere, but you have a belt that you're wearing, you can hopefully use that to if you trim it down right, fasten it down right, to make it work as a fan belt. Save your ass. You never know. But that's an unproven tip. I wouldn't try it. Unless you have nothing, you're in the middle of nowhere, you have nothing to go on, then it may be worth a try. Might work. So, just moving forward in life and spreading love rather than be a part of any kind of hate, or disregarding or casting aside members in our society just because they just don't work out. Making family members into black sheep just because they don't quite fit in, and no one knows how to really acceptance. And that's what acceptance to me is like. It's beyond love. I mean, I want to say that love will do it, but this is an acceptance of something like that on that level. It's an absolute love. And I mean absolute love is where that has to come from. So a little bit more of love with a and now, and I'll tell you why, because absolute love means that it's more of coming to that acceptance and understanding that the person and the individual you can't really get used to or accept is doing the best they can with what they have. Unless they're blatantly stealing from you or hurting you, then that's a whole other storyline, really. There's alcohol and drugs involved and drama. That's just a whole other issue. And I say get away from that kind of stuff if you can. But if it's not that kind of way, then, you can just kind of just grow through it. And learn how to, learn how to show self-respect, some self-dignity. We keep stripping ourselves of dignity and respect and other things because we're so used to not having it. No one gives us any kind of respect or dignity. And so that's, we get cast aside. But an absolute love is the part where, of acceptance. It's just a full-on, decision-making process of understanding that is absolute love. Once you get past that part, things will become easier. Trust me. Or you can just, maybe it's just a little love that requires, a little TLC. They will do the trick. But be authentic, be genuine. Be true to yourself too. When you're helping others or you're bringing a new, a family member that was outcasted back in, be understanding, be in an absolute love state of mind. Because when it comes down to it, they're not really hurting themselves. They're not really hurting others. They probably are just taking care of themselves just fine, except that they know they don't have the love and respect and the treatment of, a proper treatment, like with dignity kind of treatment from others, like friends or family. They know that much too. There's people you put down and cast aside. You think you're tricking them, like they don't know any better. And believe me, they know better. They know this, man. They all know. They may not show it. You may not even know that they know, but they know. Because it happens all the time. So it's not it's a story that keeps continuing on with their life. It might be a one-time thing for you, but with some people, it's like this is like the 100th time this has happened to them, and so it's not a new gamut or a new game or nothing. It's just it just doesn't help that. It just makes that person a little bit more disappointed, and people, because that whoever is in that position knows they can't change people, because the people around them that are doing this don't want to be changed. They want to keep that person down. They want to keep that person in a box. They want to and make sure that person stays invisible, not just to themselves, but to others too. Because they just don't want that, your goodness and your light and your glow and your achievements, your accomplishments, your success stories shine through. Because it supersedes everything and everyone else. It just blows doors. My resume just blows doors, man. I mean, and when I was being a creative designer, it took, not just one hater, man. They group up, man. They had to get together, build allies with each other, just to try to distract me, because my creativeness was so crazy good and crazy awesome and badass that some people just cannot accept that. They had a hard time understanding that a super creative individual has earned it, deserves it. Worked my ass off, thousands and thousands of hours, just to have people come around, and try to tear me down, backstab me, lie to me, whatever that may be. But I stayed on my side of the road. I kept it clean. I didn't jump in the mud. And here I am, sharing that with you. And I understand that most of those folks in my past and the wreckage of it all, which is a lot of people, I'm sure they still feel a little guilt, a little shame, if not a lot, because they never really got anything from me. They never got that reaction. They never got that failure that they wanted to try to project on me. I just pivot, moved on, kept growing, and just started new projects, like the Americanteer movement, which I started like in the 10th year, I think now, of since I made my first video 10 years ago. Check out my YouTube channel. I'm sure it's still in there. 2012, or 2013. It's been a long time, and I've loved every moment of it. I'm serving a higher purpose. I'm a bigger goal, a bigger dream. It's beyond me. It's beyond us. And that's where it should be. And that's what kind of solution we need in America. We don't need this down to home. We're going to use common sense, but to change America and to save America, it really needs to be a new solution, way of doing it. A new day, a new way. We can't hold on to the past and hold on to old formulas that just play into our system being dysfunctional. And that's why we're coming together as a team. We're all Spartans in this adventure. Step out with me. Carve yourself out of stone. Whoa. Come under the 300. So we can all kick ass. You with me? Okay, I think I've rambled on enough now. But I'm not even sure about what anymore, but rambled on. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It's always good to talk with you. Peace, love, be excellent. We'll talk again later soon. Thanks.